What's going on, YouTube? So today we're going to do a simple walkthrough on how to install LLM Warehouse. I will leave the GitHub repo website on the description below for you to install this on your OS locally. So what we're going to do first is scroll down to the description. So LLM Warehouse is a platform for showcasing large language models, allowing the users to explore each model and trying them out using a web app interface. So its features are a model exploration, model testing, and model submission. And the tech used is Next.js, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, Recoil, ShadCN, Lucid React. So we're going to follow these instructions. There's about 5 steps, and we're going to use the command prompt. So what you're going to do is click on the start button on the bottom left, type in command prompt, make sure you run as admin. Push that to the right. So what we're going to do now is clone the repository. So copy this code right here, go back into your command prompt, right click on your mouse to paste the code and press enter. Once that's installed, we're going to go back in here and cd into the LLM Warehouse directory. Do the same thing, right click on the mouse, paste it. Now we're in the directory. Now we're going to install the dependencies. So you would type in npm space install, or you would copy that and right click that on the command prompt. So just let this load. So since this is downloading, so we're going to go just to talk about step 4. So step 4 is just starting the development server. This one you can run npm run dev. So we're going to run that code once that dependencies are installed. And depending on your operating system, this may take as long as what I'm using. My OS has NVIDIA RTX with 40 gigs of RAM with 2 terabytes of SSD storage. So it should go fairly fast, but who knows? So the other method to install this locally on your OS is to click on the green button on top of the page, click the drop down box where it says code, and what you would do is copy the URL to the clipboard, and then you would open up VS Studio Code, and then you would clone the repo from there. So I'm just running through the process to show you how long will it take or expect it to take for it to install. I apologize, folks, for it taking too long to download, but let's go in here and copy this code so we can actually run the server. So once we run the server, we can actually open up your web with your browser and click on this link as a local host. So in my experience installing these apps locally, once it freezes up like just like this, what I would do is open up VS Code and create a virtual environment and install the dependencies from there. But we'll give it just a couple more minutes to see if it'll actually install. All right, so we're gonna kill this command prompt. So we're gonna open up VS Code. Since I already installed the folder, we're gonna directly cd into it. And in VS Code, you're gonna click on Open Folder and find the folder that you installed, LLM Warehouse. So mine is located in the System32 folder. So once you upload it, start a new terminal. So to create a virtual environment for LLM Warehouse, I would click Control Shift P on your keyboard and click on Python Create Environment. I normally use Conda because it's easier to work around with or use, but Python VMV is also an option too. So if you want to use Conda, just download Anaconda and go from there. So we'll click on Conda and we'll get the virtual environment set up. Click on Python 3.11. And on the left side of the directory, you're going to see Conda or VENV. So now that it turned green, so let's go back into the GitHub repository and install the dependencies. you go, it's finally moving. Let's go back into the GitHub repo. And now we're going to try and run the server. So it's almost done installing. So we'll go back to the GitHub repo. So notice how we don't have to input an OpenAI API key. So just be aware of that as well. Alright, so it installed 133 packages. So got 0 vulnerabilities. So let's run the server. Let's open this. So in my experience, normally it doesn't take this long, but since it's taking long, something is wrong within the installation process. Or right now it's compiling. So we'll let this load up, let it compile. That way the local host can be set up. So also in my experience, don't open this up again. You're gonna have multiple local hosts, and it confused my browser and my VS Code. So just keep that aware. There you have it. So in order for you to know that you installed it successfully, the title of the application will appear. Well, we have 4 issues. Let's go back into the VS Code and close this one out. All right, so it's giving us 1, 2, 3. It's giving us an error. So what we're gonna do now is ask Claude to help us out. So I got Claude already installed in my desktop. So we're gonna ask it to please help me out in fixing this error. So the error hydration failed because an initial UI does not match, which was rendered. To fix this error, you need to ensure that the server rendered HTML and the client rendered HTML match exactly. So I'm using Claude 3 Opus, so we'll go back up here. So to resolve the issue, check for dynamic content, verify side rendering, inspect the HTML, avoid browser-specific APIs, use React's use effect or component did mount. All right, so let's go back in here. Let's go back to the GitHub repo. So we're gonna do, maybe let's start all over and start a new terminal. We're gonna close out the local host. And we're gonna try and run in this server again. So let's try clicking on the local host. All right, so it's still giving me these same 4 unhandled errors. So I'm going to do some deep dive on how to solve this. But if you have installed LLM Warehouse successfully, leave a comment below and let me know what will be the best way to resolve these errors. Again, thank you again for watching Restless Minds on how to install LLM Warehouse. Take care and see you in the next video.